Hello and welcome to our channel. My name is Stephanie and together with my friend Danielle we clean people's homes for free. Now in this video I did forget to do a walk around with the camera to show you a before, however at the end of the video you will get to see the satisfying before and after results. So we start this video in the kitchen and the resident has a toddler bed in there that she was needing disposed of. So that is what I'm doing here, just dismantling the bed. This was very difficult and removing it from the kitchen. So this house is the result of, it's just a general mess. There's no depression or hoarder disorder, anything like that. However, the young woman that stays here is a single mum to 2 boys and she is currently pregnant. And as any parent will know, the first trimester of pregnancy is very tiring and she was just simply exhausted. So we came along to give her a helping hand. Next I move on to do the dishes. I noticed that the draining board cover was a bit grimy, so I gave that a little rinse out first. And now we do the dishes. I kept looking behind me because the owner has a cat and the cat kept making funny noises. I'm not really familiar with cats because I'm actually allergic. And so I kept looking around to find out what the cat was up to in case it was knocking things over and such. So as in my last video, this video will just simply be a voiceover. We're aware that not everybody likes listening to music, and because I was actually listening to the Alexa and singing along to music at the time, I couldn't leave the original audio in the video. However, we do plan to release 2 videos in future, one with music and one without. We're just not quite at that stage yet, as this is still a new channel and neither of us are very technical. This is still a huge learning curve for us. Also, I know that watching people wash dishes can be a little boring for some, so I did speed this up quite a lot. However, if you want more clean with me videos where I don't speed it up and you can wash your own dishes alongside me, please let me know in the comments. I couldn't get the lid off of that blue water bottle, and there was another bottle that I simply couldn't get the lid off of. I do have quite weak wrists. I did wait for Danielle to get the lids off those for me when she arrived. This house is in the UK, in Scotland, so we don't tend to have dishwashers in the UK due to limited space or limited funds. Obviously some houses do, but this was a house that didn't have a dishwasher, and that is why I am washing dishes by hand. Now for this pot, as you saw, it was very greasy. I did scrape out as much of the fat as I could and put it in the trash, and now I'm just washing it with water and then using soap. Now we move on to the final pot here before we move on to the next stage of this clean. I was just drying the pots by hand because, as you can see, I have a towering pile of drying dishes there. So next I'm moving on to the bunkers or worktops. There was quite a lot of clutter and around the tea and coffee canisters, as you can see, they were a bit grimy. So I start by removing all the clutter, putting them away in cabinets or finding homes for toys and things. I know some people do like to keep things on their bunkers, but I'm definitely somebody who prefers to have them clear. It just looks better, in my opinion, visually if there's less things there, but that's just me personally. So I'm just using a Zoflora everyday spray, wiping down the bunkers, moving things out of the way. Then wiping down the appliances as well before putting them back. This was so satisfying to do these canisters. I wish I had done more of a close-up so you guys could see that as well. So my way to approach a mess is just to tackle one little space at a time. This house wasn't too bad. In fact, my house has been messier than this on many occasions. However, if you do find that you're in a home and it is overwhelming, you don't know where to start, just pick a small space and work on only that space. So next I am just cleaning the windowsill as best as I could. I'm very short, it's quite hard to reach back there. And now here is Danielle. She is just, while I was doing that, she is clearing the floors, picking up any rubbish, toys, anything that needs to be put away. When we're in somebody else's home, when we don't quite know where to put things yet, there does tend to be a lot of putting something down somewhere and then having to move it again. This definitely isn't the one touch method, it's just figuring out things as we go along. So Danielle broke down these shoe boxes, and then afterwards we thought, oh, it would have been good to have used one of those boxes for the small miscellaneous items that we didn't know where they went. But after some hunting around, we do figure out where to put most things. The children's toys are just going in the hall just now to be put into their bedrooms. We don't actually tidy their bedrooms in this video because they were already done. And back to doing some of the bunker spaces. Once again, remove all the clutter, clean the space, clean the appliances. Move them out the way, clean under, put them back. Very simple process. I did clean this toaster, but I didn't deep clean it. It is still needing a good deep clean. But as I've said previously, we're not professional cleaners, and we just plan to make these homes better, not perfect. Moving on to the stovetop, I just spray some oven cleaner, let that sit for a few minutes. It wasn't spraying properly at first, I don't think I shook it right, so that's why I went over it a couple of times. Let it sit, and then I went in there with a scourer. This scourer is just a cheap one that I think I got from Home Bargains or B&M's, and I actually don't recommend this because it actually left little gold flecks everywhere, which was quite annoying, so I don't think I'll be using this one again. I mean, it did get the job done, it was just annoying. The stovetop really wasn't very bad. Everything came off nice and quick and easy. While I was doing the stove, Danielle was working on the opposite bunker with where the microwave is. Unfortunately, she lost a lot of the footage. I'm not sure what exactly happened, but we had lots of problems trying to get the footage from her phone to my phone, and in the process we did lose a lot of it. This is just a little after of the cooker. So there is a lot that was done in this house that unfortunately you don't get to see on the camera. Danielle tends to do more of the deep cleaning than me. So while I'm tackling other rooms, she stays in the kitchen. She cleans down all the cupboard doors and drawers. She cleans out the washing machine drawer, which we were gutted to lose the footage for that because the drawer was very, very moldy, and it was such a transformation after she cleaned it. She did manage to get some footage of her cleaning the floors, and that'll come up a little bit later. But yeah, so we did lose a lot of the footage, but as I've said, this is a learning curve for us, and as we go we will get better with the editing of the videos. So please stick with us. So I know that the oven knobs can come off on most cookers, however that's not something you will likely ever see me doing. A couple of years ago I hired a group of cleaners to come into my own home because I was struggling myself, and they had taken the knobs off the cooker, and like they weren't supposed to come off, and they're now broken. I don't ever want to be responsible for breaking something in somebody's home, especially when we're going into these homes and doing this for free. And I would hate to then cause them to have to pay for something after I've broke it. So just cleaning the outside glass here. I was just testing to see if the bottom of this oven came off there. So I know that some of them do and you can store trays and things inside, but as far as I could tell, this one couldn't come off. Just cleaning the bottom. Unfortunately, my camera wasn't angled correctly for you to see this bit. And now for the inside. So again, just spraying with oven cleaner, and then I use Ari Katarina's technique of laying the cling film on top to keep the product nice and moist. I left this then for a couple of hours, and when I went back it all just wiped away very easily. It was so satisfying. This didn't go on as smoothly as I had hoped. So then I take out the trays and things, and Danielle gives them a wash for me. I forgot to change the angle of the camera here, but I do clean all of the inside of the oven as well. This is now a couple of hours later. As you can see, it all just came up nicely. In hindsight, I should have just gone straight in with the damp microfiber cloth rather than the scourer. The scourer really wasn't necessary. But we learn as we go. And look at how clear that glass is. So when I was doing the inside of the stove, as you can see, a little bit of charred food flicked onto the glass that I had just cleaned, but it had somehow, it's not sitting on top of the glass, it went in between the two layers. And for this oven, I could not for the life of me figure out how to take off the top layer of glass to clean in between. And then, so I tried shaking out that little bit of food and I just could not get it out. It was so frustrating. Just a clip here of Danielle washing out the oven tray and grill for me. Also, with the dishes being left to dry on the draining board, we obviously have a limited amount of time in these houses and we can't get to everything. So the plan was to get as much done as we could and then to come back to those and dry and put them away if we had time, which we do have a little bit of time at the end, but we don't manage to get them completely put away, as you will see in the after photos. So Danielle couldn't get these as clean as she would have liked. We plan in future to try the method where we put them in the bathtub with a dishwashing tablet or other cleaning product and let them sit for the same amount of time that the product stays on the oven door and stovetop. So that was Danielle starting to put away some of the dishes there. And this is her doing the floors. So these are the kind of floors that, because they're speckled, even when they're clean, they don't look 100% clean. But hopefully you can see some of the dirt coming up there. That was probably the dirtiest thing in this house, were the floors. The cat that the lady has sheds a lot of hair, I think. Both myself and Danielle are allergic to cats. We had taken an antihistamine before coming into this house, so for the majority of the time we were okay. However, as you will see later, like there are quite a lot of carpeted floors, and obviously this floor as well. So by the time we had to empty the Hoover several times, and we were fine right up until we had to start doing that. As soon as we emptied the Hoover, all of that dust and hair and dander or whatever it is was all airborne, and that's when we really started to struggle with our allergies. I try to slow down that hoovering there for you so you could really see the dirt coming up. So satisfying. And just a little bit of mopping at the end there just to show that it was done. So we don't actually really like this kind of mop. However, we have not bought a mop to take into these homes, so we were just using the mop that was already in the homes. While Danielle was doing the rest of the kitchen, the deep cleaning and the floors, I moved on to the downstairs bathroom, or downstairs WC. This is where the cat litter tray was kept. We didn't really do anything with the cat litter tray. That is going to be one of our boundaries, I think, is the animal products. So I just removed everything, gave everything a wipe down. Put everything back. I did wipe it as I was putting it back, and then moved on to the sink. How cute is that Minnie Mouse soap? And moving on to the toilet, have my gloves on. Obviously we have been using different cloths and sponges throughout this entire clean. You might see the colour of some of the cloths changing, but we do have also multiple cloths the same colour, so don't be alarmed if you later see a pink cloth being used. It's not the same one that was used to clean the toilet. We have about 12 pink cloths, I think. Once we've used a cloth, we tend to just put it in to a bag ready to be washed. I really wish the camera had picked up on the dirt on this toilet better because it was so dusty down there. It was very satisfying to clean. The inside of the toilet really wasn't bad at all. Just left the toilet cleaner brush sitting in the toilet to dry while I quickly give the room a hoover. Also, in case you're wondering, because I just realised what I've been saying, I know that most people say vacuum, as Hoover is a brand. However, all my life in the UK, we've just referred to it as hoovering, not vacuuming. But this is not the Hoover brand. Obviously, this is a Dyson. Also, you may have noticed that I am wearing my shoes. In my own home, I don't wear my shoes in the house. However, I'm not comfortable taking my shoes off when cleaning other people's homes. Just putting everything back now, and that's the bathroom done. Moving on to the bedroom. First thing I do is pick up all the clothes. We don't decide if clothes are clean or dirty. We just bag them all up and let the resident go through them themselves, although I would assume that the clothes on the floor are to be washed anyway. Next was picking up all the rubbish. That green thing, the fairy green thing that you just seen me pick up, there's a bit of a funny story with that. So when I was tidying this room, I came across a few risky items, like there was a nice bralette, there were some handcuffs, things like that. And so I picked up this green fairy thing and had no idea what it was, didn't know where to put it. And I thought, well, maybe it's some sort of toy or something. So I just popped it in her underwear drawer with the other items. And then later on, when I'm cleaning the living room, I find another two of them, and Danielle points out that it's a cat toy. So I then go and take it out of her underwear drawer and put it with the other cat toys, and me and Danielle had a little bit of a giggle at my naivety. So here, as you can see, I cleaned away all of the rubbish that was in the corner. Now I'm just clearing away all the clutter off of the surface once again, giving everything a wipe down, and then you will get to see a bit of a close-up of me cleaning the surface top as well. In this particular room, I didn't touch the bedding or change the bedding. The bed was already mostly made and we didn't know any of the clean bedding sets were, so we just left as was. Now I'm moving on to clean the windowsill. Again, I wish the camera had picked up how dirty this actually was, because you would be surprised. Now I'm just putting everything back. I try to put it back in a way that looks visually appealing, so tall items on either side with the plaques in the middle. Just moving to the other side of the room now. There wasn't much to tidy here, just picking up some clothes and rubbish and then doing the floors. The cat followed me into every single room that I went in. And while I was doing the bedroom and the living room, Danielle has now moved on to the upstairs bathroom. She is still also learning how to angle the camera, so there were several times I walked by and she was cleaning something and the camera wasn't on her, and I had to remind her, you need to move the camera to where you're recording, but we'll get the hang of it. That was just the inside of the toothbrush holder there. We all know how grimy they can get, especially if you have children. Again, this bathroom really wasn't that bad. I don't think the resident has lived in the house that long, perhaps a year. As you can tell from some of the rooms, she is still decorating. Just a little bit more backstory about the resident. Obviously, I already mentioned that she is a single mum to 2 boys and is currently pregnant. She doesn't really have a support network around about her because she moved from her hometown to a different town to be with the boy's father. And then when the relationship broke down, instead of moving home, because then the boys wouldn't be able to see their father, she moved to our area to be with a friend. And we think that's probably one of the best reasons to move, is for a friend, not a boy. So you might wonder why some of the clips of this video, the screen is reversed. It's because sometimes when recording we have the screen in selfie mode so we can make sure the camera is on us, and other times we have the camera facing the right way, so it's all the same rooms, they're just reversed. So while Danielle was doing the bathroom, after I finished the bedroom, I moved on to the living room. This was mainly just a case of picking up the clutter. I didn't realise how unflattering these dungarees are. I do look pregnant, but I can assure you I'm just bloated. And while we're out here normalising mess, let's also normalise body shapes of all different sizes. So we won't accept any judgmental comments on people's homes or on ourselves. We are both parents, we've given birth, we are proud of our bodies. So most of the kids' toys were in their bedrooms, however there was a small selection of toys in the living room and they seemed to be stored in this corner, so any toys I found in the living room I just put all together in this corner just to keep them all nice and stacked and out of the way. Again, here's my cat friend coming to check on me, make sure I'm doing a good job. Just giving the surfaces a clean. There was something on this radiator I didn't realise that you guys couldn't see. I think it was melted chocolate. So that was quite satisfying to clean. So funny story here, I set the camera up to record me cleaning this very grimy TV, and there we go, camera fell over and I didn't notice until after I'd finished. So I thought that was quite funny. So this is just the final part of the clean, was hoovering the living room floor, and now the before and after photos are coming up. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the before and after photos. Please leave comments telling me where you're watching from, what did you enjoy most about the video, and what would you like to see. If you like this kind of content, please do subscribe, and the best way to support the channel is by liking and sharing our content.